I like yapping sometimes. I like women. But a bunch of women sitting around yapping for 200 pages, I'm sorry, man. I don't give a fuck. I am so tired of hearing that shit. And the problem is that it's a lot of the same rehashed shit where, and like, I see what they're doing, right? I see what they're doing because this book is a lot about Egwene solidifying her hold on the rebel Aes Sedai. So I get that. I get that that's really what they're doing. But it just gets so tiresome after a book now of just bitches fucking yapping at each other. And it's just so tiresome. And the problem is it doesn't end here. That's the real fucking crime. So, uh, that that arc fucking slugs. I honestly don't remember if it's this book or the next book where they actually start marching and actually setting out towards Tar Valon. I believe it is this book, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It is a fucking tough. Every time that arc is on screen, I'm like, oh fuck, man, come on, let's go back to something interesting. Holy shit. Um, Also, this book is the first book in which back to Rand. Rand and Min finally, they do the thing. So that again makes Rand feel kind of shitty. We are also introduced to a new character. Well, I say new, but not really. Her name is Cadsuane. Cadsuane was a character in the prequel, and I feel like that's why Robert Jordan, part of why he wrote the prequel, is he wanted to introduce this character so that we would have context for who she is when she showed up. So, Cadsuane. There is nobody, no one in the fandom, who is neutral on this character. You either love her or you fucking hate her. And I hate to be like, I'm different, but I am honestly kind of mixed on her. Not because I think she's well, I'm middle of the road on her. When you first meet her, she is so fucking aggravating and so fucking annoying. So her whole thing is that she is like the oldest fucking Aes Sedai on the goddamn planet, and she is like renowned for hunting down men who can channel and yada yada yada, right? She's like a living legend. So she shows up in Cairhien and basically just does nothing but try to humble Rand by just like humiliating him constantly. And it's really fucking annoying. Like, and the problem is she is doing it for the right reasons, but she's doing it in the most, she's kind of doing Moraine 2.0, right? Where she's really just trying to embarrass him and kind of belittle him sometimes. Oh, but it's to keep him humble. It's to it's for the greater good. I know how to groom him into the Dragon Reborn that we need to save the world. She sounds exhausting. She is. In this book specifically, she is fucking exhausting. So that being said, by the end of the series, I do like her. She just has a tough arc. She goes from, fuck man, I wish Rand would blow her to pieces. Like, I wish Rand would just rip her fucking head off right now. She goes from that to, you know what? I respect you. I respect you. I respect the player. She did what she had to do, and I respect that. But you don't really start liking her until the last, like, 2 books. And that's the problem. Is that you only really respect her once you realize that what she was doing was right. It's just so aggravating while she's trying to puppet master from the shadows kind of shit for the greater good, and it's aggravating. So she's a tough one. She's a tough one to it's hard to be objective about her because she's so fucking frustrating. But as far as being a good character, though, she is written very well. Are you sure you're middle of the road? I am. Because like I said, I acknowledge that at the end, she is a good character. Like at the end of the day, she's a good character, and I do think she is an important addition to the story. I think the story overall, without her, would suffer. She plays a crucial part in the last 3 books. So it would be very tough without her. So that's why I'm kind of middle of the road. Is like I understand she's important, and I do like her role in the last couple books, but her early arc is so, ooh, it's tough. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Honestly, that's all I got to say on her. But that she is introduced in this book, in the main line at least. Yeah, you got to claw your way through all of her parts. It's one of those ones where you just have to trust the process with her. You have to trust that she's actually important to the story. She's actually an important character, and that it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. So yeah, this book is, like I said, it's a lot of Rand politicking, a lot of him trying to do shit, and everyone getting in his fucking way. And then we go to Perrin. Now, this for me is where the Perrin story falls the fuck off. And I hate to say it. Perrin drags this fucking story down for the next 3 books. Not because what he's doing is bad, but just because, like, I don't understand his arc. So basically there's this guy called the Prophet. Now, we met the Prophet back in book 2. He's a Shienaran soldier. And when he saw that Rand became the Dragon Reborn, he basically went fucking crazy, right? He basically became this mad prophet. Think in Game of Thrones, what was his name? Like the Sparrow or some shit? Where he was just like that old guy in the robes, who was just like constantly judging people and shit. That's him. He's basically taking over small towns and being like, I'm doing it for the Lord Dragon. Repent for your sins. The dragon is coming to save us. Like, weird, crazy dude, right? Basically worships Rand from afar. So, Perrin has been tasked by Rand to go bring this guy in. Hey, take this guy and take a couple. Also, the men who can channel, they're called Ashaman. Right, they're called like guardians in the old tongue, right? So he said, hey, take this guy with you, and when you get the fucking Prophet, bring him back here so I can set him straight, right? That's the whole point of Perrin going away. So Perrin gets sent over to Ghealdan, which is a country kind of in the west. So this arc takes way too fucking long. Basically nothing of import happens in this book with Perrin. It's really just Perrin kind of wandering around. The Queen of Ghealdan. Now, Ghealdan's a very small but proud nation. The Queen of Ghealdan basically swears fealty to Perrin because the Prophet has more or less taken over the land. So we get a lot of... Let me backtrack. Like I said, I don't hate the events that transpire in this book and in the next couple books with Perrin. The events are good. It's the character Perrin himself. We get like a soft reset of his character. So throughout the course of this specific book, mostly is just Perrin kind of like, you actually, Queen Alliandra, you don't actually have to swear fealty to me. I'm not actually a king. I'm just here for the Dragon Reborn. And his wife, Faile, who understands how royalty works, she's like, Perrin, sweetie, shut the fuck up. She's literally bending the knee to you. Just fucking go with it. And that's like the whole fucking book for Perrin, is just him being like, actually, I'm not a king. I'm actually not in charge of shit. I never wanted to be in charge of anything. I'm actually just a blacksmith. And it's like, dude, we kind of already did this. Didn't we already fucking do this in book 4? Like, book 4 was like, part of that arc was the people of the Two Rivers banding around him and being like, oh my god, you're Lord Perrin, we're gonna follow you, and him be like, oh no 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 no, I'm just here to defend my home, I don't want to be a lord. And it was so good because it was like the first time we saw it. But this time it's like, dude, we already did this. We already did this fucking story. So he meets up with the prophet, and it kind of goes as expected, where the prophet does like the, oh, I'll come with you to meet the Lord Dragon, but I'm not going through one of those portals. Look, I'm not one to, I don't want to do the whole Lord of the Rings, why didn't they take the eagles to Mordor? I'm not one of those guys, right? But the prophet's causing problems. Get some people who can channel, of which Perrin has many who can channel. Grab the fucking prophet with magic and pull him through the goddamn portal. Just get him there. Just fucking get him there. Put him in front of Rand and say, here he is. Do what you're gonna do. But instead, they spend 3 fucking books pussyfooting around with this guy, and the whole reason, like, them pussyfooting around with him causes them so much grief coming up, and it's just so frustrating that this happens. Okay, so we'll talk more about Perrin later. Mat. This is an interesting Mat book. So Mat is kind of just chilling in Abu Dar. He gets what is the word? Seduce isn't the right word. The queen of Abu Dar. Now, Abu Dar is a very so Abu Dar is a city inside of a very small kingdom. So Abu Dar is basically like a city-state situation. Now, I don't want to say seduced because he's a little smarter than that, but basically the queen, how do I put this delicately? The queen basically makes him her boy toy. that's kind of it. That's really what happens. And it's so funny. This arc, I'm gonna say this. It should have been me. That's all I'm gonna say. It should have been me. Not a bad place to be. Now, it is kind of funny because again, the community is very torn over this arc. You get a lot of people who, oh my god, she's basically raping him, this is horrible. It's like, dude, he acknowledges in his own inner thoughts, he loves this shit. It's frustrating because he's used to being the one kind of in power, you know, he's used to doing the seducing, but he's not like, oh my god, I feel violated. Like, that's not an aspect of this story. However, like, yeah, it's frustrating that she's a little overt about it because he's a little more conservative, but he's not used to being the boy toy, the prize, you know, he's used to chasing. But again, the community's fucking weird about this arc, so that is a thing. Should have been me, but whatever. Let me pull her up real quick. Yeah, so basically the whole thing about Abu Dar is kind of like what I said, where it's kind of a free love society kind of situation. Very what did I say earlier? Very Mardi Gras all day, every day, right? It's kind of crazy, bro. That's kind of the society that they live in. So it's very normal for everyone. It's kind of like an open secret where it's like, oh yeah, the queen has a little boy toy, and everyone's like, haha, that's funny. And it's honestly some of the funniest shit. Because Robert, I haven't really talked about that much, but Robert Jordan's a funny guy. Like, he's got a lot of funny ass shit that happens in these books, and this is easily the most hilarious fucking story arc because it's not actually that important. He just needed Mat to be stuck here for a while and didn't want him just sitting in a bar for fucking 2 books. So he just has this fucking arc for this entire book of just Mat like trying to escape from this castle, but every time he gets almost out, there's a servant there like, Tywin won't be happy about this, you know. You want to really reconsider what you're doing. And it's just so fucking hilarious that he keeps getting drawn back to this crazy bitch who just wants nothing but his seed. It is fucking hilarious. It's so goddamn funny. And yeah, people are fucking weird about it, but so fucking funny. But so that's the Mat. That's pretty much the entirety of the Mat arc for this book. Then so they find the Bowl of the Winds, the girls, and they're gonna go with this group of women called the Kin. Now, really quick sidebar about the Kin. The Kin are a group of women who can channel, but they are not part of the White Tower. Most of them are White Tower rejects who went and they didn't really cut it, so they were kicked out, or they're called Wilders, people who just learned how to channel but didn't want to go to the White Tower. That's the Kin. So basically the Kin, the main girls, and the Sea Folk women are going to go to this Kin base not far outside the city, and they are going to use the Bowl of the Winds to fix the weather. So basically when that happens, the Shan-Chan from book 2 attack the city, and they just barely get away. Also, small sidebar, Lan has caught up with Nynaeve. So there's a really good scene. It's either in the beginning of this book or the end of the last one. I can't remember. But basically, Lan makes it to Salidar, where all the women are, where the Aes Sedai are. And he meets his new Aes Sedai. And his new Aes Sedai is, I forget her name, but she has like 4 or 5 warders, which is a green Aja thing that's very normal for them. And it's not uncommon for them to get a little frisky with their warders. Not uncommon. But basically, and this is such a good scene wasted in such a good book, or such a mid book. But basically, he's losing his fucking mind. He's like I think he's described as like a fucking half-tamed wolf, where like he's not like killing anybody, but like he's not responding to commands. He's basically like a frenzied robot, and he just won't listen to his Aes Sedai because he doesn't know this bitch, and he's just, something's wrong with him, right? And Egwene goes to him and says, "Hey, I got a mission for you." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Well, Nynaeve might be in trouble." And bro, this guy immediately sits up, like stands up to attention, and he's like, "Where?" That's it. He's like, "Where?" And so literally after 2 books of him being like, "I can't be with her. I'm no good for her. I've got nothing to offer her." Actually, I say 2 books, but like, what? This is book 7. So after like that many books of him being like, "Oh, she can do better. I'm not good enough." The second he hears that she's in trouble, he just, "Where? Send me. Where? I will walk there. I need to keep her safe." So it's like, yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't want to be with her? Stupid. Goofy. So, sends Lan in, and Lan, her personal simp, basically, yes. So, Lan goes to Ebudar, and he saves her from drowning in the river after Moghedien, one of the Forsaken, sinks the ship that Nynaeve is on. Lots of backstory there, but I'm not going to get into it. Moghedien is the Forsaken that Nynaeve duked it out with back in book 3, and they both walked away from that. You should shut up, Raven. I don't have time, bro. I don't have time for that. So basically, Moghedien tries to attack her. She in this scene, I guess I'm gonna do a small spoiler because it's kind of intense. So I'm gonna do a little spoiler alert for everybody. I'm gonna turn off the captions real quick. I'm gonna get a little dink of water. Man, I wish I could yap about my books like this. I'd listen to you yap. I'd do that. I like that. I like the idea of that. So, here we go. Basically. Nynaeve, I mentioned this earlier, Nynaeve has a block on her powers where she has to be super angry to channel. Now, the secret to channeling is oh, they're all lewd. So oh, you're one of those, huh? You're one of those readers, huh? Okay. I know what section of Half Price you're shopping in. Yeah, okay. Um basically stupid. She has to be mad to channel. Now, it is the way it's supposed to work is you are supposed to surrender to the power, right? You're not supposed to fight it. You're supposed to just resign yourself as a conduit for the power. And she's too proud, right? She's too proud to surrender anything. So that's kind of her problem. Now, as the ship is sinking, it's going down and she can't get out, and she's so scared she can't get angry. She can't get angry enough to channel and get the fuck out of here. And basically, she resigns herself to death. She just says, well, it was a good run. I guess I'm dying now. And sure enough, the power rushes into her, and she can now channel. And she like blasts a fucking hole in the boat, but then she's already started taking on water. She can't really, kind of almost passes out. And here comes land, fucking diving into the goddamn river, fucking pulling her out. And right then and there, they go get fucking married, bro. Right fucking there. And it's badass as fuck. Super sweet. Really sweet. Love that scene. It's really good. But and what's funny is, like, I thought I would be excited about Lan showing up, right? That's what I expected, right? Because for like the first half of this book, where I was like, "Ooh, Lan's coming, he's gonna find her, and it's gonna be a really good reunion." That wasn't the part of the scene that stuck out to me. The part of the scene was her overcoming her block, and it was so good because for the first half of this whole franchise, a huge gimmick to her character is that she can't fucking channel. And she's had this block. So her overcoming that was actually like a profound character moment. And it was so good. So well done, too. And yeah, so then they get married, and that's fun. Okay, let's turn that off. Hey, we're back. Okay, so that happens. So, where the fuck was I? So the Shan-Chan, right? The Shan-Chan attack. And they're like raising this fucking city, bro. It's crazy. They got their flying beasts. They got fucking their people on leashes, unleashing magic against the city. It's pretty fucked up shit. So, at the last moment, the girls managed to get through a portal to where the kin have their little base. But at the last second, they realize, now this is a character I have not brought up until now because he's just now becoming actually kind of important. His name is Oliver. Oliver is a 10-year-old boy who Matt kind of adopted back in the last book. Now, Oliver's a good kid. He is a good kid. He's a fun character. The gimmick is that he's insanely ugly. Now, I have a fan theory about this, but I'll save it for later. Somebody remind me to go into the Oliver fan theory later. But point is, he's super ugly, and it's kind of a fucking hilarious joke. So, point is, they realize as they're all about to go through this portal, where the fuck is Oliver? They can't find Oliver. So, Matt runs off. Matt does the super heroic, hey, everyone go through. I'm gonna go find that fucking kid. So, Matt runs off to go be a hero, goes to find Oliver, and does not end up finding him, but ends up getting trapped under some fucking rubble, and we don't know his fate. Now, obviously, bro's not gonna die, obviously, but you know. Oh, nice pinned comment. Thank you. Because I'm gonna forget that shit. But the problem is it requires a shit ton of context that I have to go into, and I don't want to mess up the flow of this book review for that. That's like a later thing. So, Matt is now stuck in Ebudar, and we don't know the fate of him or Oliver. And the girls make it safely to the kin. So, now, trying to think of the other arcs. And then the only other arc is the girls do get to, they get to this kin outpost, and they they use the Bowl of the Winds, and it requires a shit ton of the one power, and they fix the weather. That's the short version of it. It's actually a really cool scene. I actually really like it. We play a little bit more with the relationship between Avienda and Elaine. Now, I'm just now going to get into this, but it's kind of been a thing. So, if you remember, Elaine and Avienda both love Rand, like a lot. However, only Avienda has, she done the thing, right? Only the one time, but, Elaine only got some smooches. So it's kind of an awkward situation. Now, I will give Lord of Chaos one scene. There was a really good scene when Avienda first encountered Elaine after this has happened. Now, I kind of briefly mentioned it earlier. The Aiel are very ritual bound. They are very honor bound society. And what Avienda did was like worst of the worst, right? She broke her promise to one of her best friends, which was like to keep him safe, blah 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 blah. Basically what happens is when she first encounters Elaine, she basically does the, "Oh, hey, Elaine, can we go talk in your room real quick?" And mind you, they don't know each other that well at this point. They met back in book 3. Now this is book 6, so it's been a little while. And they get to a spot alone, and basically Avienda immediately pulls out like a knife and is just like, "Hey, so I fucked Rand and I'm madly in love with him, so I need you to kill me. Straight up. I need you to fucking stab me through the heart because I am the lowest of the low fucking dirt and I have betrayed you." And it's funny. Like it's funny, and like she's so dramatic. Like that's such a crazy thing to say. Like actually fuck, like that's like if for whatever reason like Suave betrayed me in some way. I don't think there's any situation in which she came to me and said, "Oh, hey, Sarge, I need you to fucking kill me because I betrayed you." I'm sorry, man. I don't think I'm gonna do that. That's kind of crazy. That's a bit much. But it was just so fucking hilarious because it was so absurd. And I love that he plays with the Aiel like that, where the Aiel are just so intense. So very like cliche samurai, right? Where it's like, "Oh, I dishonored my lord, so I'm going to commit seppuku." Like that, like right, where it's so dramatic and over the top, and I love it. So fast forward back to this book. We are now getting the dynamic of them trying to be friends, right? Because it is not, also, I forgot to mention this, it is not uncommon, in fact, it is very common for Aiel men to have multiple wives. Not the other way around, but the thing the Mormons do, right? Polygamy, right? So that's normal. So for Avienda, it's kind of like well, we could both marry him. Now, I don't know you, so that'd be kind of weird, but that's not a thing that's unheard of. Meanwhile, Elaine, who is like a prim and proper, royalty from a Western, basically like the England equivalent, she's like, "What the fuck? Dude, I'm not gonna fucking, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's nuts." He had a really clear feeling on Polly. He did. He really did. But again, I love that he played so much with like the culture clashing of it, where it's just normal in certain cultures. Just really fun. But yeah, so basically he did like basically Elaine is like well, I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of crazy. Also, I'm still super pissed that he would do that with you. Kind of crazy. Cannot figure out if these covers are getting better or worse. they kind of stay the same. They all kind of stay at the same level. Some of them go kind of hard, but I'm not a huge fan of the style, personally. I know that's like blasphemy, but whatever. The audiobook ones are all fucking boring. They're just like different colored squares, so whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of happening in the background, where Elaine and Avienda are learning to become friends. And that arc goes that's also one of my favorite arcs in the whole series. Because small fast forward, they become not just best friends, but they become this thing called First Sisters. I will get into that later in Winter's Heart, because that's where it happens, and it's really good. So I love the clash of cultures that lead to communication. Exactly. Robert Jordan had a very clear idea of how humans should conduct themselves, right? Where most of our problems can be solved if we just fucking communicate. And that is very clear throughout most of the franchise, and I love it very much. Okay, down to the final part. Rand going up against Samael. This part sucks. I really wanted it to be better. So basically, they've been teasing this fight for 2 whole books. 2 books. So I have to kind of deep dive a little bit. So remember that city that they went to back in the first one where Mat got that cursed dagger? So that city's called Shadar Logoth, right? In the old tongue, that means where the shadow rests, right? It's an evil city full of evil shit. Okay, the shadow, if you go into it, it kills you. Very quick version, very dirty. They go back there in this book, and Rand basically goes there to seal up the Waygate that is there. And while they are there, one of his Fardarismai, which is those spear sisters, those really badass girls that I want to dominate me, basically one of them gets lost, and they can't stay there after dark because the shadow will kill you. So basically they leave. They have to leave her there, and it's another name of women that he has gotten killed through his actions added to his list. So fast forward to the end of this book. He goes to fight Samael in Ilion. And Samael, now, don't get me wrong, the fight itself is cool. It's a lot of cool magic stuff. But he goes through a portal, and Rand follows him. And lo and behold, here they are, in Shadar Logoth. So, we're in Shadar Logoth, this land where you can't touch the shadow or else you fucking die. So, this character, Laya, right? She's a pretty minor character. He's just kind of surrounded, like I said, he's surrounded by these warrior women pretty much at all times in the books, but not this time, right? When he goes to do serious shit, he's not there. Now, we'll talk about the Fardarismai later, that I have my beef with how Robert Jordan handled them, but don't worry about it. So, he's there. He's trying to duke it out with Samael. Now, this is the first time I've mentioned this, but it's been a theme throughout most of the series. There's this spell or weave called Balefire. Balefire is basically the delete button. Not only does it kill you, it erases your entire existence from the threads of fate, from the pattern of the weave, right? It just straight up erases your whole existence. And the stronger the Balefire, the farther back it erases your existence. So if you built a house and then somebody Balefired you, the house would disappear. That kind of shit, right? And if you hit them with the Balefire hard enough, not only would the house be gone, but you never would have bought the land, right? That kind of shit. So, now, the other gimmick is that if you kill somebody with Balefire, there is no coming back. They never get reincarnated. They're dead forever. So when the wheel turns again, these people are not reincarnated. So he has to kill the Forsaken with Balefire, because if he doesn't, well, the Lord of the Dark can just bring them back and they can live again to come bite him in the ass. Now, this has already happened before, but I didn't really get into it because it's not important that much so far. It's a bigger thing later. So basically, we go to this fight and they're slinging Balefire at each other, and Samael kind of dips off into the dark, and we are introduced to Moradin, who God damn it, I have to kind of go back for more context. Moradin is a character who came back from the dead after Rand killed him in book 3. That's the short version. And the first time I read through the book, I didn't understand what the fuck was happening. I didn't really understand it. But the second time, it made a lot more sense. So Moradin helps him out and kind of gets him out of a trap, and then just fucking leaves. Now, Moradin is actually a character I don't really like that much. He's kind of one of those, I'm going to play 5-dimensional chess with the Dragon Reborn for the entire series. But then never really elaborates what he really truly wants, and it's kind of fucking annoying. He's not the worst character in the book, but sometimes I'm like, dude, can you fucking be for real right now and just tell us what the fuck you want? So he helps him get out of this trap and then disappears, right? So Rand is like, whoa, that was weird. Okay, so now back to Samael. So Samael is hanging out in like this open courtyard, and Rand sees him. He's on this roof, and right as this is happening, Laya, the girl that he left behind in this city earlier, it was either earlier in this book or in their last book, she is at the exact same moment being consumed by Mashadar, right? Which is like that shadow creature thing. So he basically just like starts blind shotgun blasting Balefire everywhere, and in theory killing both of them, both Samael and Laya. And then that's it. That's like the end of the fight. It's just like no, I have to stop Mashadar from killing her, but I also have to kill him. So he just starts like yeeting Balefire everywhere. And then when the dust clears, he's like, well, I guess they're both dead. And then just leaves. And it's just like the weirdest, like every other fight he's had up to this point with a Forsaken has been super climactic. Now, I know why Robert Jordan did this, right? He wanted this to be added to his conscience, right? This, I had to kill a woman and it's gonna haunt me forever. I get it. I do. I understand. But why did it have to be wrapped up with Samael? That was the problem, because this fight with Samael felt super boring. Like the climax was just kind of like, I don't know, weird. And then he goes back to Ilion, and the like steward of do we remember the real world influences behind this choice? Am I misremembering? So yeah, small backtrack to Robert Jordan as a person, as an author. When he was in Vietnam, he had to kill a female combatant in the field. And it forever haunted him. And so that is why that is such a big theme in these books. That's kind of the real world reason why that's a thing. So that's kind of what that comes from. So like I get it. It's Robert Jordan inserting his own kind of trauma and morality into the world. And like I said, I don't think it's bad that is an element. It's just the way that it was executed in this fight. So I just didn't like it. But then he goes back to Ilion, and they just said, aha, he's here, the man who conquered the city. Here, have the throne and the crown of swords. And that's the end of the book. Right there. And like this fight with Samael that was like teased for 2 whole books, like 1,500 pages is over in half a chapter. And I don't know, man. It kind of killed the mood a little bit. I don't know. It just wasn't that exciting of a fight. I just kind of didn't fuck with it. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of that fight about the end of. And what's crazy is this is another one of those books that everyone like universally praises, but like I don't know, man. I just demand more from my final encounters. I don't know, man. I don't. It's not my favorite. It's not a bad book by far. I think it falls into. You know what? I'm gonna make some changes. I think it falls into good category. No, you know what? I think it belongs in good, and I think Lord of Chaos. I was contemplating moving Lord of Chaos up to great, but I'm gonna keep it in good. Lord of Chaos, I think, is on the line of being great, but there was like one too many arcs I didn't give a shit about. I feel about the same with Crown of Swords. Like Crown of Swords had good moments. It had its good moments. It had its fun moments. Like the whole, like I said, the whole Matt storyline. God, that shit was so funny. I loved it. It was so good. But man, like everything to do with Egwene, I was like, God, can these bitches just shut up for 5 fucking seconds? Can we stop the yapping? And it drove me crazy. It drove me fucking crazy. And then like that final battle was kind of the icing on the cake, where I just kind of